So today we're going to be looking at things from the 90s. So I was born in 96. What year were you born?
2014.
2014. Okay, so it's 20 years difference. So we're going to be looking at, try not to give anything away, some kind of like toys, maybe things that you would probably see in school, maybe some like kind of pop culture things, and see if you can recognize any of them and pick any of them out. Any clues what you think you might see?
No.
No? Okay, right, okay. Well, let's get started on the first one. We're going to start easy. So what do you think this is?
A cassette tape.
Specifically, what does it do? What is it in particular you can see?
You you put it in the music box, don't you, and you listen to music on it.
Yeah, so that's a Walkman.
Oh.
So you'd put the tape in the Walkman, and you'd normally have like headphones, so you could like listen to your tape and things like that. So, well done. Yeah, you were almost there.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming you might be able to guess what these two things have in correlation with each other. Just some bonus points. Can you guess what that is?
That's a pencil and a cassette tape.
So, what do you think you might do with them?
I don't know.
So, when the cassette had ran out, you'd have to rewind it. So the best way to do it was either get like a pen or a pencil and put it in to the hole and spin it around, so it would rewind the tape back. Yeah, these are the things we had to do before we had just little buttons on the screen.
Wow.
Okay, so
Buttons are easier.
let's try something a little bit more. I think you might get this one.
Oh, that's a Tamagotchi.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, you play with it and they're really hot and they're really easy dying. And you have to keep it alive like a real pet.
Yeah, so it's a virtual pet. These were big in Japan and they're still being made now. You can still play with them now. I think they're on app stores and things like that now. But yeah, people still have Tamagotchis, believe it or not. Okay. What is this?
Bruh. I have no idea.
What does it look like?
A black box.
What do you think it does?
I don't know.
So this is actually a computer.
What?
So when we were in school, we had one of these big things. They were probably grey.
Where's the screen?
The screen was separate, so you had to plug them both in at the same time and connect them with a little cable.
That's very strange.
Yeah, and they would usually what you would do is if you had one of these at home, you would get in from school, turn it on, and then by the time you'd got changed and ate, it would probably be ready to be used. So we'd normally play like pinball on here, or if you had the internet, you could play online games like Miniclip. Okay. Oh, I think you'll definitely know what this one is. These are popular still.
Oh, I forgot what they're called. Oh, I know what they are. I forgot what they're called.
Go on.
They're the weird, little gremlin things.
Close.
I forgot what they're called.
People used to put them in the microwave, or it was a bit of a fable that if you put it in the microwave, it would like explode or do something. So people used to microwave them.
I forgot what they're called.
It begins with an F.
Furlings?
Furby! Furby. Furling. Yeah, it's a Furby. Okay. So I thought you'd get that one.
I forgot what they were called.
This is extreme difficulty now. So this is like 11 out of 10 difficulty. If you get this, then I will be very, 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 very surprised. So what can you see?
A square.
Yeah, it's a square. What do you think it does?
I don't know. That's very hard.
So this was used with your computer, and you would normally get a big tray of these because they didn't save very much memory. So these are, do you know, it's a memory card.
Oh yeah.
This is a big memory card. It's called a floppy disk, and it's completely made of plastic.
No wonder it's called a floppy disk.
And you would have these, and they would save not even like 100 megabytes, I don't think. So they would save like barely anything, which is why they came in big trays when you brought them. And you would save files on this and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, these were the original memory cards when I was a kid. So we've got 3 more. I think we'll go down a difficulty. I think you should get this.
Oh, you do like those different things, and it tells you what to do. It's like, pop it, squeeze it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. It's basically a toy, and you would have to keep doing, like you said, what it says when it said it, and
Pop it,
trying to get
squeeze
like
it,
a high
stretch it.
score. And it would each.
Doesn't it go like really fast?
Yeah, it gets faster and faster, and to find out your score, you would have to. It would play like a series of beeps and bops, and each one would add up to a different number. That's vaguely what I remember about them anyway. Okay, I think you might get this one. What do you think it is?
I don't know. Like,
What do you think you would use it for? So this was part of, or a component to a camera. That's a bit of a clue.
I don't know.
So this is something called film. So you would have a camera, and you would have to you'd get these little canisters of film, and you would put the film in the canister.
Yeah.
And you would be able to like send it off and get it all printed out and that kind of stuff. But if you kept the canister, you could put your change in the canister, and then you'd be able to take it to school with you, so you could pay for your dinners or your milk while you're at school. Another semi-difficult one. Yeah, I think you know what this is. You can get that. I'll give you a clue. It's hard to give you a clue, actually. So you would need this if you wanted to use your game.
Oh, doesn't that top bit like open, and you had like a little thingy, and you pew pew pew?
No, this doesn't open. So this is a cartridge. So you would put this into. You sometimes have to blow them if they're not working, and then put them back into the Nintendo. So this was for a Super Nintendo or a SNES. So games used to come on cartridges, and then you would have to put them slot them into the little space, and hopefully it would turn on. If not, you'd have to give it give it a wipe and try to blow into it and make sure it would work. But that's how big they used to be. And you'd play games like Super Mario on there and that kind of stuff. Okay. What do you think that is? You would use that in school. Have a guess what you think you might use that for in school.
Click
Or has it gone off? Okay.
it. Step it out.
What would you use it for, do you think? Or where would it be used?
I don't know. I feel like something to do like.
No. That's a projector.
It's just fly in the air.
So you would put that box there, you would put something on top of it and it would shine a light up and reflect off the mirrors onto like a pull down white screen. So like the teacher would put like some kind of classwork on there, or you would be able to like write on it if it was see-through, so you could edit stuff in front of the class.
Oh yeah, we did that at Stanley Bowers, and we showed like some of the pictures.
Yeah, so something similar to that, yeah.
Yeah.
But you knew you were in for a good lesson if you saw the projector out. That means something fun was usually happening in the lesson. So, okay, so what do you think of some of the things you saw?
That some of them were easy and some of them were like, you know.
Hard.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think of the projector?
I know what a projector is. I couldn't like.
Yeah.
I couldn't process what it was.
You couldn't picture. Well, yeah, you couldn't understand what it would do. What about the PC?
That was cray.
They used to be probably, I'd say, a little bit bigger than that as well at some points. Yeah. You would have sometimes in the kitchen or maybe in like a bedroom upstairs, you would actually have a corner unit dedicated to your PC area.
Whoa.
Where you would have to have like a router, your internet, you'd have a PC like this big, and you'd have a screen just as big. Yeah. And you also couldn't use the internet while somebody was on the phone. It would make this really weird noise.
Ooh.
Same way around, you couldn't use the phone while someone was on the internet. Then the internet would be really slow to the point where it might not have been worth it. But you've also missed out on a lot of good things as well. Like toys in your cereal box. Yeah, so we used to get toys
I've
in.
always used to like try and dig at the bottom.
Yeah, those days are over.
Because I saw like on loads of TV shows that everyone was digging at the bottom to try and find one.
Yes, those were the days before phones when you had to rewind your Walkman with a pencil, or you would have to pretty much leave home and be out all day and no one would be able to talk to you. So, because you didn't have a phone. So once you were out, you were out. And you know when you'd come home? When the street lights were on. Yeah.
Why on?
Because then it would be dark, so you would know your mum would want you in by that time, which would usually mean have a bath and get to bed, and then that would be it. So yeah, do you think you'd be able to survive in the 90s compared to your creature comforts now? Is life easier now than it was back then? For you?
I don't know, because like then some parts of it were easy, but then like now those parts that were easy are now harder.
Yeah.
But then like when you had to go out and like you couldn't tell anyone when you got there or when to come home was like hard.
Yeah, that's how life was.
Mum would have been like, "Why are you not yet?"
I had that conversation with Nan a few times, and you would only be allowed to go so far. And if you were out and your mum saw you further than what you're supposed to go, then you would know about it. So
Wasn't it? It was like super cheap as well.
Things were cheap. You would be able to buy sweets for like 1p.
1p.
Yeah,
That's practically free.
you could get bags of sweets for like 20p, 50p, or if you were feeling like, you know, kind of flush, you'd be able to get like £1, and the bags were like really big. So, yeah. And we had a lot more sweets, we had a lot cooler sweets as well.
Oh my gosh.
Now, because everything's all sugar free and
Mm.
Sunny D, when I was a kid, used to taste like how it did on the bottle. It used to be really sweet. You look at Sunny D and think that's a sweet drink. It was like
I
drinking
love Sunny
sugar.
D.
Oh, back in the day, Sunny D was good.
Mwah.
Yeah, but there
Yes.
we go. That's everything. I think you did well considering, you know,
I'm 10.
well, you were born in 2014, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. You had fun. Good stuff.